welcome to another video at Vanilla Sprinkles. Today we're making chocolate chip cookies. Don't they look delightful? I've just got to try one. They are so good. Here's the recipe. So today we're making chocolate chip cookies. So I have in this bowl, I have 100 grams of butter, which is unsalted, but for chocolate chip cookies I'm not sure if it would matter. Then we have some 75 grams of soft light brown sugar, but as you can see in Australia it does get quite lumpy, so just make sure you've got majority of the lumps out. When you put it in the mixer it will come out anyway. So then I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of golden syrup in. This is what makes cookies the best. Then I've got 2 tablespoons of milk with a dash of vanilla in there, because you know I put vanilla in everything. Then we've got 100 grams of chocolate chips, and I've got a few extra to put on the top, you know, to get that cool cookie look. And then I've got 175 grams of self-raising flour. Right, and I've also preheated my oven to 180 degrees, and that's just, you know, preheating. Then over here I have a tray lined with baking paper, so that's what I'm going to put my cookies on. So the first thing I'm going to use my stand mixer today. So this is my baby. So to that I'm going to add my butter. Now I slightly softened it in the microwave because I'm lazy and I didn't do it I had to leave it out overnight. But that's okay. Get in the bowl. Okay. And then just cream that slightly for a little bit before I add the sugar, just because I'm not sure how hard it is. So I'm just making sure the butter's just that little bit softer, because it gets softer as you mix it, just before I add the sugar. Alrighty, that looks good, so I'm going to turn it off. Now I'm going to add that brown sugar that I've slightly got rid of some of the lumps, just because we don't need lumps of brown sugar in our cookies, do we? So I'm going to add that in. Scrape it all in. We need all the sugar in them, don't we? Okay, that's that all in. Right, I'm going to turn it back on and just mix about on a medium speed until it goes light and fluffy. Now I'd scrape down the sides after a little bit and make sure you get the bottom, because some of it does stick to the bottom. Right, so I'm just going to stop it there. I'm going to scrape down the sides a little bit, just because I can see there's quite a bit of brown sugar still on the bottom that's not getting mixed. There we go. Right, put it back on. I'm going to put it on a high speed now, just to get that last bit of air in there. Okay, you can see now that it's just gone a lighter colour, because you can see the outside bit's a bit darker. That's pretty good now, so we're going to turn our mixer off, and I'm going to add the 2 tablespoons of golden syrup. Now, I know most cookies recipes contain an egg. Now this one is actually eggless, because you put golden syrup in it instead, so that means you can actually eat the dough without cooking it. So if you like raw cookie dough, this recipe is for you too. So, what I've done is I've just set my tablespoon measure in a glass of water, because that means when the syrup goes in, it helps like loosen it so it doesn't stick to the spoon, I should say. Right, so I'm just squeeze it in. I love this squeezy bottle. Syrup and squeezy bottles was the best idea yet. So I shall pour it in. Now, I'm gonna wet my spatula and use that, because that means it won't stick to my spatula when I try and scrape out the spoon. Right, so that's one. We need one more. Oh, I love golden syrup. So good. Best stuff. So we shall put this back on and incorporate the golden syrup. So I'm just going to put it on a medium to high speed and mix it till it's all the way through. Now I'm thinking I might scrape down the sides, because I can see quite a bit of treacle still there. Treacle is another word for golden syrup, if you didn't know that. Right, so I'm going to scrape down my sides. and a little bit off the paddle because I can just see it starting to build up on that. We'll just scrape that down a bit. Using my big spatula that I really like because it's cool. Alrighty, so I scraped that all down. As you can see, there's that tiny bit of syrup there and butter, so we'll just mix that through. Rightio, so I'll put it back down, give it a bit more of a mix. Right, so next we're going to add our flour, which I haven't sifted because you know me, I can't sift. So I'm just going to add that in. I'm going to slow the mix down first. So now that all that's incorporated and it looks really nice and smooth, I'm just going to turn down my mix. Oh, I might turn it off actually. I don't want a flour dust storm. So I'm going to open it and I'm going to add in all my flour. Woo! Flour! Right, I'm going to get my little spatula. Ooh, get it everywhere, it's always the way. Now I know there's quite a few mixing. I'm just going to like wait for it to form crumbles and then I'm going to slowly add in the milk. Now you may not need all the milk, I'm going to say. But just so it gets to like a crumbly mixture and it's turning to the colour of the brown, which it is now, I'm going to add a little bit of milk. And I'm going to turn it up a little bit just to get it to a good dough mixture. I'm going to add a tiny bit more, just because you don't need a wet dough. And mix it really fast. Right, so now I'm going to stop my mixer. I'm going to add my chocolate chips. Now I've got a little bit extra that's not included in the 100 grams in a little bowl to decorate the top with. So in goes the chocolate chips. You've got to have all the chocolate chips in there. And give that a slight mix. Oh, it's looking good, isn't it? I love chocolate chip cookie dough. Oh, it looks so good. Right, so I'm going to stop that there. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to scrape down this bowl. Because I can hopefully it's all well mixed. Or it is a bit on the bottom, I can see just brown sugar instead of cookie dough. So I'm going to give it that bit mixed. And then I'm going to give it one more mix at the top. Get a bit of the paddle. It always likes to hang around the paddle. There we go, that's better. Right, just I'm going to top it down. Give it one last mix. Cool, that looks good. Right, so I'm just going to give my bench a wipe and then we'll start the next bit. Okay, so I'm going to change to my big spatula. Just get all that mixed in. Right, I'm going to use this is an ice cream scoop. It's not as big, I have a bigger one. So this is a really big one, which is, it says it's 2 tablespoons. So I would say this one's about 1 tablespoon possibly. Sort of that, it's just a smaller version of that one. That makes sense. I like this one. This one I use for cupcakes, the like normal size ones. This one I use for mini ones and for when I'm doing cookies. Because I think that's just a little bit too much cookie. Right, so I'm gonna cookie scoop, pop it in, bring it up to the sides. See, I've got it all nice and filled with cookie dough. And then all I do is I squeeze and out comes the cookie dough ball. Isn't that fab? Makes it so much easier. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to leave about that much room. What do you think that is? It looks about 1.5 inches, I would say. I want to say about 16 cookies out of this mix. Fingers crossed. Let's hope. So, filling it, leaving about 1.5 inches. Scoop it, press it out. Now you may think these look very round for a cookie. Now they do flatten out in the oven, but I am actually going to give them a slight press before they go in. I like this because it makes them all accurate. Okie dokie, so now you can say I've actually finished scooping my cookies. I've just got 16, 17, 18, 19, and I've got a few in a tray over there. So I've got about 20, 23 cookies. Now, as you can see, I've still got a tiny bit left in the bowl because, you know, it is eggless, so I can eat it. And it's good too. So what I'm going to do with my cookies, I'm just going to use my fingers and just give them a slight press. Spread, I'm going to add just a few extra chocolate chips, you know, those signature chocolate chips on the top that make every cookie look like a professional cookie. So just place them in. About 2 or 3 cookies all you need. You know, you can eat 1 too, because you know you can eat them as well. After this, I'm going to pop them in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes, and they should hopefully spread out and go quite golden. And once they're done that, I'm going to leave them to cool on the tray, because otherwise if you try to take them off, they're just going to be all soft and gooey and they're not going to work. They actually hard off on the tray. So I shall put these in the oven and then I'll be back soon. So these are the cookies. Look, they're in the oven. They're starting to spread. That's good. They've got about, I put them for 9 minutes, so they've got 5 minutes to go. Fingers crossed. We're going to have chocolate chip cookies soon. Yay! Okay, so my cookies have been in the oven. They took about 12, maybe 11 minutes. And they're cool now as well, so they've gone quite hard. See, they should have a slight, they're quite softish cookies, but if you cooked them a bit longer, they would be quite more crunchy. But I quite like a soft chocolate chip cookie, and it tastes pretty damn good. So, if you like the video, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. And happy baking. I'm going to go eat this cookie.